From Oxbow to Oslo, New York to New Westminster, we're global, baby, covering what matters to you. Let us know in the comments right now. Welcome to another episode of The Rod Pedersen Show.
Good morning, Canada. Welcome to The Rod Pedersen Show. Howdy. Episode 211. Let's go. Rod here, Darren there. How you doing, Dupes?
I'm doing good.
Good. Ready to talk sports?
Yeah, let's do it.
I got to be honest, my mind was racing last night when my head hit the pillow thinking, what are we going to talk about? There's not so much to talk about. It's been going to be a slow day. Well, we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
I've got so many topics here in the Divine Nine show topics, so let's go. Ty McGauley going to be joining us later on from Ohm Hockey Systems. That is in the last segment of the show. Derek the Duke Myers is going to be with us, sportscaster to the stars. Amanda Ruler, former pro football player. Hell of a story, of course. She's going to join us to talk about WrestleMania 36. Why the hell not, right?
Right.
And Amber Balkan's going to be joining us, and that got Paul's attention. His neck just snapped. What? Who? What? A sprint car racer? Is that what it is? This is what I know. She is the future Mrs. Jordan Reeves, but I know she's a race car driver. I know she's in the Carolinas, and I'm very much looking forward to chatting with her. So that's cool. That's part of the guest list today, but I'm just ready to jump right in because we got a lot of things to get to, Dupe. So let's go. On the Divine Nine show topics. Number one, bravo CFL. A lot of news coming out from the Canadian Football League. It's not all good news, but at least they're in the news. And what I mean by that is, one, Saskatchewan Roughriders releasing quarterback Brian Bennett yesterday. We were alerted to that. 3 Down posted it. We posted it shortly after the Riders posted it. Brian Bennett is gone. Now, I understand to our viewers across the country, a backup quarterback for the Saskatchewan Roughriders being released is not front of your, page news, but it is around here, right? Got a lot of people talking, but we also predicted it the day they signed James Franklin, February 12th. I looked it up. The Riders did. We knew this was the end of the line for Brian Bennett. Unfortunate, good guy. So he's looking for work. Yeah,
you're not keeping a fourth quarterback to do special teams and short yardage and all those types of things. Yeah. He'll find a home, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think hopefully he hooks on with somebody. Moving on. Point 2. I don't know why this is so rapid fire today, but it is. Did you see the story on 3downnation.com that the Edmonton Eskimos, a former front office worker, football ops guy, Kyle Thorne, is suing the football team for wrongful dismissal, claiming that they were trying to get him to circumvent the salary cap. He specifically pointed the finger at general manager Brock Sunderland. He is seeking close to $1 million in damages for wrongful dismissal. My initial take on that, none of our business. That's between them. It's ugly. I don't really want to talk about it.
Yeah.
How about you?
It's uncomfortable.
It's uncomfortable.
It's uncomfortable. So, yeah, I'm not sure because I just don't have enough details yet into what happened to really weigh in on it. But it's not a good thing. It's not a good situation. That's for sure.
No. The Eskimos sending out a statement, by the way, that they're aware of the I'm paraphrasing here. I may not have it totally right, but the legal action against them, they will not have any further comment, but they do stand by the actions of their football team and their general manager. So I'll just say that's between them. Quite a scoop from 3 Down, but I'm not interested in going down that road. We tackle enough ugly topics. Not interested in tackling that one.
Yeah.
I will chime in with comments from our viewers. Don Mitchell writes in from snowy, rainy, cloudy Ottawa, he says today. John O'Flynn writing in on the Facebook wall. Hello from North Vancouver, BC to all, and gives the arm flex emoji. So that's cool. So far, viewers from Vancouver to Ottawa. We'd love to know where all you're watching from today. Point 3, CFL free agent draft. If there were one, and I got to give you this, I admire the cojones of one Justin Dunk. He's not standing down from his report that if there is no CFL season, that all contracts become null and void and everybody's a free agent. So let's just say that happened. Because why the hell? What else we got to talk about?
Sure.
I want our viewers to chime in with this. Who are your top 3 selections that you would make at the draft if you could? Your top 3. Wow. Maybe they're all quarterbacks. Maybe they're all D linemen. I mean, yesterday you said Willie Jefferson would be your number 1, and I mocked you, but that's fine. You understand I'm just teasing you.
Exactly.
Justin Dunk was on yesterday. He said his would be Bo Levi Mitchell. I said mine would be Cody Fajardo, which I should have back that up or explain why. That's why I would never be a great general manager, because my heart clouds my head all the time.
You're drafting
My
from-
wife tells me that too.
You're drafting
She's
from
like,
the
you
heart."
just love Darian so much that you can't see his faults. So what? It's how I feel, damn it. So I'll take Cody and I'll win or die with Cody. I don't care. I want Cody. He's my guy.
The fans will love it. The fans will love it until Cody starts throwing interceptions, which I don't know that that's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Could you cut him?
Hey, my dad's first cousin, Bonnie Schaefer. She chimes in from Beseda. Beautiful Echo Lake out there, right? That is so beautiful. Hi, Bon. Good to see you. How about Monty writing? Monty, go back to bed. Monty from Saskatoon writing in. Get over it. What are you talking about, Monty? Why do you say these things?
Durant?
Oh, get over Darian? Yeah, what are you talking? Get over it, Monty says. Maybe I don't want to get over it. Who says I got to get over it? Who's your top three? By the way, Robin Wildy writes in from Prince Albert this morning. He says the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame postponed the ceremony that was scheduled for this June. Justin Morneau, Dwayne Ward, and John Olerud selected to the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame. Thank you for that, Robin. That's unfortunate. I'm still imploring the Canadian Football Hall of Fame to announce their induction class for 2020. I'm like, now's the time. They don't necessarily agree. But it's a great class. It's got a lot of chutzpah.
Good.
It's got a lot of pizzazz.
They should take over the whole stage right now.
Anyways, we stick to our own business. That's working well for everybody. So anyways, your top three. People, write in. I don't see any. Come on, Monty, get over it. Who's your top three? So I'll say Cody. I got to think about it. Put some thought into that, please.
Yeah.
And then write in. Prairie Mobile text line 306-840-8777. Who are your top three picks in the CFL draft? Americans, Canadians, vets, rookies, you name it. Who are your top three? I would pick Cody. I'd ride or die with him, and I'd be comfortable with that.
Yep.
It's why I'll never be a general manager, although Jeremy O'Day's riding and dying with him. He's doing the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
So, what do we got? What are you laughing at, DuPont?
Jason, is he jabbing at you?
Jason in Red Deer says his three picks would be Boley by Mitchell, Brandon Banks, and Andrew Harris. If you put Simone in there, then I would get it. Who are three people that I've never been in a phone booth with? Moving on. Oh, point four. All U.S. shows that I've watched in the last 24 hours have been devoted to the Tom Brady interview. When I say the U.S. shows that I watch are NFL Network, Total Access, ESPN, Get Up. Are there any other channels?
Yeah, I don't think
None that I care of.
Exist.
None that I care of. And the reason I bring that up, and I want your take on this, is Deion Sanders was on NFL Total Access last night, and they said, the host said, why would Tom Brady say he's not concerned about his legacy? Were you not concerned about your legacy, Deion? Why would he not be concerned? And Deion's like, no, because if he spent time worrying about his legacy, he wouldn't be able to accomplish making a legacy. He goes, I totally get it. But it's just interesting how Joe Fan doesn't understand how the high-level, high-functioning athletes think.
That's Deion understands. He was in that mold.
Yeah.
I mean, in a two-sport way. I mean, Deion's is prime time as they get, so he's got the nickname, right? But yeah, you worry about the legacy comes after. That's kind of the payoff. You can't really try and worry about that right now. For Tom, it's funny. But yeah, everywhere you looked, I just even searched it. Every outlet, newspaper, online report, TV station, they all had so-and-so reacts to the Tom Brady interview. So-and-so reacting the latest from the Tom Brady interview. It's crazy. And now this morning, the Gronk news. Have you heard the Gronk news this morning? Bleacher Report had it that Gronk's been working out in addition to WrestleMania in Florida. And there's some legs now to the rumor that Gronk might be interested in coming back and playing in Tampa with Tom.
Come on.
There's some legs to it.
But Gronk hasn't been quoted in this.
No, and this hasn't grown yet.
This is fake news.
This is rumors, but he's been working out in Florida, apparently, according to Bleacher Report. So that's what I read this morning.
I got so many comments coming in here from Les Lazaruk, my brother from another mother, the me of Saskatoon, if I may. He says, no jab here, Rod. Bo Levi Mitchell, Andrew Harris, and Cody Fajardo. By the way, Jason in Red Deer goes, did I miss something? Why is that funny? I think news gets to Red Deer slow. Those are all figures that I've had considerable set twos with, except for Andrew Harris. But who said? Clark said, if you throw Simone Lawrence in there, we got a party. Brad Hersina, my Army buddy. I don't know where it is. Can you put that up, Clark? I want to get Brad. You know Brad because he was in here. Retired major. That guy's tougher than a 10-cent steak. From, where did it go? Brad Hersina, the Army guy, says Cody Fajardo, Willie Jefferson, and Brandon Banks. I get that. Thank you. Trent from Norway wrote in, and we've lost it. It slid off the... That's how fast the comments are going. I'll put the flag down for a minute. You found it? Yeah. Same three? From Trent in Norway, my 3 picks would be Cody Fajardo, Brandon Banks, and Willie Jefferson. So I'm not completely crazy. There are people that would take Cody Fajardo as their quarterback. So, yeah. So I mentioned those U.S. shows. Point 5, what are you watching? What's everybody watching? That's the other thing. You want to chime in with what you're watching at this time amid the pandemic? I mentioned mine.
Yep.
In the morning, ESPN Get Up, NFL Total Access while my wife is finishing her day, her work day. And then we slide into a nice little routine here of Netflix. And that is Dirty Money we've started because we finished Ozark, which sucked having to finish that. So we watch Dirty Money, and then we watch Mad Men, and then we watch Queen of the South, and then we might go back and watch another Dirty Money. Those are the ones that we're on right now. So we're on a nice Netflix rotation. I didn't really want Tiger King to end either. But
I know. And then when the new episode launches, isn't that supposed to be this week or next week? A new episode of Tiger King. We'll get back on that. But I'm with you on that. I'm doing the same thing with Ozarks. It's hard to not watch them all. Trying to watch only one a day.
Just go one a day. Don't binge, man.
Yeah, I just got...
Moderation. Have you ever heard of that?
I just got to the part with the horses.
I just learned of it. Yeah. With the horses at Ozark?
Yeah.
Have you got to the scene where they castrated the stud horse?
Yeah.
Wow.
They are...
the size of footballs.
The size of footballs. They're huge. And I like how they put them in like the padded case or like the solution, like lock it down. Like these things are worth a lot of money. I don't know.
My mind is jumping around all over the place. Paul writes in from the couch. Paul's sitting in his chair currently, and he says he's watching A Football Life. Here's my problem with that, Paul, and to everybody. I've watched them all. I go on the grid and Jerry Jones, Lawrence Taylor, Dan Marino. I'm going to watch again. I only watch the Cowboys ones again. I don't watch any other ones again.
Fair.
So they need more.
Yeah.
We talked about that the other day. I'm sorry to cut you off. So you're watching Ozark and what else?
Succession is the other one.
Is it good?
Succession's good. Yeah, really good. It's I think it's on Crave, but it's very good.
We'll continue with these topics throughout the whole show, of course. This is the rollout for Flooring Superstore, and I challenge everybody to do the same economic stimulus package as me. As soon as this lifts, go get new flooring from Flooring Superstore, because we're going to be doing it. I already told Trent that. Y'all want new flooring, so you might as well just get it from Flooring Superstore.
Fair.
Point 6. I have a personal beef with this. Well, for one, the Masters was to begin today. So they had Jack Nicklaus on this morning on ESPN talking about his best Masters memories and so forth. And the Stanley Cup playoffs were supposed to begin yesterday. So we've said it many times on this show, everything's right between your ears, right, Darren? Yeah. Everything. What you think you feel, what you think you do, what you think you become. And for people to say, oh, the playoffs were supposed to start today. Then you put yourself in a funk all day. Or for days. Or think of something else.
Yeah.
So I guess you can sit and stew in that or think of something else. But I'm like, oh, okay. I just moved on. Where are you on these things that the Masters would have started today and the playoffs yesterday?
But it's not. It's starting in November. That's where I'm at in it. It's not
Okay.
Masters weekend. Yeah, it's cool to think about it, and it would have been the opening day to the Masters, and to be honest, we'd have it on in here. It'd be on in the other room, right? It'd be great. I love it. Thursday, Friday, I watch all of it. It's great. We've had parties for the Masters, but it's not Masters weekend because we've got coronavirus and it's shut down. The Masters is now in November. That's kind of where I'm at.
It's not over. It's postponed.
Yeah, the market is the market. There is no Masters this weekend, so
I guess the point is, if you think about crappy things, you're going to feel crappy.
Yeah.
And I just have a tough time. I see, and it's not just the public. I see the media figures, the media leaders that are leading this sulking. And it just bothers me. Heather Matter is watching. Thank you, Heather, for watching, by the way. She's written in a couple things here. She says she's watching Bad Blood. Have you seen Bad Blood? I'd watch it. Kim Coates, who's promised to come on this show. Kim Coates, here's my story of Kim Coates. He and I were brought in as ambassadors for a Rush game, so we hung out together. And I got to say, I apologized, not to him, but to myself. I should have researched this guy a little bit. And my wife was with me. We went to the Rush game. I knew who he was.
Yeah.
You know, Sons of Anarchy, I knew he was the star of that. He's the star of Bad Blood. He's been in Bad Boys 1 or 2. I can't remember. I think 1. I went back and looked at it. I'm like, yeah, I watched the movie. He's in it.
What did he do?
He's a thug.
Okay.
He's a tough.
Yeah.
And I think he threatened to roll Martin Lawrence early on in the movie. Something.
Okay.
Or Martin Lawrence pulled him over in a car speeding in Miami. That's what I think. But anyways, Kim Coates at the Rush game. He'd never been to an NLL game before. Have you seen the photo of him where he's like whispering over my ear? Where he's like right up in my ear saying something? Yeah. Do you know what he was saying at that moment? He said, "They play music the whole effing time." I'm like, yeah, they do. It's awesome. So that's what he was saying. He'd never been to a game before.
He's used to hockey and football.
And by the way, after that game was a big win for the Rush. This may or may not surprise you, but the Urbans asked if I wanted to go in and address the team. Me, to the Rush players. I'm like, what the hell am I going to say? I'm good. Kim Coates went in there and addressed the team, and there's video of it. Did you see it?
I seen it.
But he's a showman. That's him.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't feel right. I wouldn't even know what to say.
Yeah,
would you?
What would you say?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Would you give try and do a rah-rah speech and act like you know the game and do that? Or would you do it as a PR tour? Be like, thanks for having me, all that kind of, I don't know which way you'd go with it.
I know. I'm not great in situations like that. There's been a few. And I declined, and I don't regret declining, but there was one time, my wife worked for Molson for 11 years, and one time we were at the Christmas party in Saskatoon, and the manager of the province for Molson said to me, "Rod, you want to get up and say a few words? This is in front of everybody." And again, I cringed. What am I going to say?
Yeah.
Give me 5 minutes. I'll think about what I want to say, but I can't.
Right.
There's certain guys that just, tap on the shoulder and away they go. Jim Hobson's one.
Of course.
He need to think. I need to think about what I'm going to say. I'm going to look like a fool otherwise.
Yeah.
So that's my Kim Coates story. Should we break? And this is kind of what the day is going to be. A lot of BS and a lot of coffee road talk. The Duke's ready? Okay, so I'll just rattle through my topics and then he can jump in on any of these. Opinions on the CFL season. I'm seeing so many people saying there's not going to be a season. Why are you guys even talking about a season? Based on math, there's not going to be a season. But then you also see the health and disease people saying, I don't know. So how can you say or me say there's going to be a season or not if they don't know?
You can't.
So you can choose to be positive or negative. It's your choice. But we're really seeing who the positive and negative people are right now.
Yeah.
Aren't we?
Oh, yeah.
Myers is a negative person, so my guess is he... Hey, you'll have your say next, Derek. 8, a potential NLL playoff format, because they said they're scrapping the regular season. What would be a good playoff format? The lacrosse you could do in a tournament. You could do it in a weekend in one place. So I think they will hand out they don't call it the Champions Cup anymore, but the Champion Trophy I think they will hand out.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be that hard for them. Or am I completely misreading it?
It's the only thing that comes in, and this is, again, something that's plaguing the CFL a little bit, too, is just the money involved. It's so important. The money is it's smaller, right? And you look at the NLL players who are making, I don't know, some of the salaries, but they all have other jobs, and they get flown in on the weekend. So can those guys leave their jobs if they're getting paid for a tournament that's going to last a week or a couple of weeks? How many games can they play, in succession? All of those things. It's not quite like the NFL when you're dealing with millions of dollars in salaries and millions of dollars in revenues that you can just go to the players and say, look, we need you to be here for this amount of time. End of story, said and done.
And if you don't want to be, somebody will fill your spot.
Yeah, it's a little different in the CFL and the NLL.
We got breaking news. Ty Dacu writing in our social media advisor saying Kirk Myers is joining Team Dunstone. You saw that? Yeah. Oh,
Claire?
Dun, dun, dun. Claire. She didn't know.
But she alluded to it. It kind of just blew over all of our heads. And I was watching that interview again, and she said in the interview, if you remember, she's like,
there'll be news in the next couple of days.
In a couple of days.
Right.
And she's sitting with the news. Kirk was probably off camera
laughing. Hey, they've got a super team. Can we just play the Briar now? To hell with the whole regular season. Joe Lazito is watching in Long Island. And he writes in and he says, I had the opportunity to address the Islanders after a game. It was both awesome and extremely nerve-wracking. From Joe Lazito. A lot of people don't know his story, but those that do know his story would understand. And maybe we'll tell that later on because we got nothing else to do today, and it's a hell of a story. So, yeah, we'll break. The Duke next and a sports update. It's the Rod Pedersen Show coming to you on this Thursday morning. I haven't even finished all my topics yet. So we'll continue all of those in a moment. You're watching on Facebook Live. Coming this spring to Game Plus TV Network and listen live at rodpeterson.com.
You're watching Rod Pedersen On Demand. For more of the Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpeterson.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.